start.
All right, outstanding. So we've got a few topics we can talk about today, but we're going to go ahead and do introductions. My name is Matt Storms. Welcome back to join us on this, our 130-something Helpdesk Hangout. I've been doing these for over a few years now, and thank you for joining. Well, I know we'll have more people who will join as the Hangout goes. If any of you get hit up with a request, send them my way, and I will invite them in. We don't want anybody showing their junk in the Hangout, so we kind of want to limit it. We have had that happen one time and one time only, and I vow never to have that happen again. Because as we all remember, that was not good. All right, so let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. We'll go left to right, and we'll start off with Barry.
Hi, I'm Barry. I'm the political reporter today. That's what I'll be talking about mostly.
Awesome. And we got Kevin.
I'm Kevin Mullett with Market Snare. We help companies that have tens to thousands of individual locations who want local visibility for those locations, like dealer networks and franchises. Basically, I just do SEO and social media and marketing junk.
Junk. You do junk is what you're telling people. You don't do high-quality stuff?
No, junk is in stuff and junk.
Oh, stuff and junk. Okay. And then we've got William Rock.
William Rock, just a geek on the web, new top contributor. Very excited about that. So see all my geeks over at the summit. Looking forward to it.
Oh, you're coming to the summit then?
I have my tickets, yes.
Outstanding. I still don't even know what hotel I'm staying at myself.
Well,
so,
we'll find out when we get there. That's what the agenda says.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay. Well, I hope I have a room. I put in for it. And then we've got Wissam. You want to introduce yourself?
Wissam Dandan out of Daytona Beach, co-founder of TourPage, and that's about it.
Awesome. And we have Danny. Danny, can you hear us? I know you just joined us. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself? Danny sounds like he has a mic that sounds like he's on squirrels. Is anybody else hearing that? Okay.
I like it. It sounds great.
It does. Danny, I'm impressed. I would say other mean things, but I won't. It just sounds like you're a squirrel or a juvenile young man. So we're going to go moving on. So Wissam and I were talking earlier about some topics, and I know Barry's got some stuff I know he is dying to talk about. And I got a few things in here which might appease to Barry's inner self. So let me pull those up again here real fast. Outstanding. Okay, so had an idea about 4 different things here, and you guys can let me know. But we'll get through some of these things, and if you have questions, please ask. And Danny, can you hear us now? I love your mic, Danny. That thing is epic. You might not want to talk.
You are going to want to watch this after. It's hilarious.
Yeah. It is. Yes, it sounds like you're Alvin and the Chipmunks, my man. It's really quite comical. I'll give you credit on that. Okay, so we had some things that I saw some stuff this week in the forums, in Search Engine Land, and other websites, and saw some good stuff, and had some great talks with clients about some stuff. And so I figured that this week maybe we could start off talking about a bad SEO firm that was doing a really, really dumb thing and doing robocalls. All of us have gotten those robocalls before. Would you like to include your listing in Google Maps? How many of us have gotten those phone calls? At least once a month. Yeah. So I always laugh. I try to keep them on the phone as long as possible. I like to play games with those guys and keep them on there so that way they're not duping other customers or other people potentially. It does annoy them after a little while, and I think it's kind of a fun game to play. If I'm not on a phone call, I don't have a meeting to go to. So Barry, you want to dive into that a little bit? You maybe read a little bit more around it than I did.
Sure. Mike Blumenthal has a really good blog post about it. basically Google is officially suing, and they actually pointed out a search engine optimization company. They didn't say like a local SEO or a local whatever company. They said a search engine optimization company based in California, specifically for doing robocalls. And robocalls are basically a way of having a machine, a robot, call people with an automated message. As somebody presses 1 or 2 or whatever, it goes ahead and routes them to a real person to try to sell them something. The problem here was that this SEO company, which I believe is called Local Lighthouse in Tustin, California, went ahead and kind of confused, I guess, people into thinking, or businesses into thinking that it was actually Google on the phone, and that they had to go ahead and speak to them and had to go ahead and sign up for these services. You can actually read the whole complaint. Mike Blumenthal has a copy of it, but it's like a 3-part complaint against this company. So a lot of the SEOs are very happy that Google went out of that. I just think it's one step. There's probably hundreds of companies that do this, and we'll see how many more they go after.
Yeah, I mean, we've all gotten those robocalls before, and it's really quite bad when companies claim that they're part of Google, because I get those calls all the time where they say, "Oh, we're part of Google," and I go, "Oh, really?" And I know a lot of the people at Google. I mean, I'm that work in the business stuff and all that type of things, and when I start questioning them and stuff like that, they kind of lose their mind, and then they get angry, and then usually about half the time I keep my calm and I just tell them, you work for a fraud and you should stop and you should go work for someone else. It's a more reputable business. And every now and again they'll start cussing at me and they'll tell me that I should kill myself and all that good stuff, which is always entertaining, especially when I tell it right back to them. Then they get really angry. Those companies, though, they're preying on businesses that just don't know, and that's not good. That really makes all of us look bad when those companies are preying on other people. They're preying on the weak, and that can really negatively influence how we do business, because people will get a bad taste in their mouth. I just picked up a client last week, earlier this week actually, who said she worked with an SEO and basically committed fraud. That was it. They committed fraud, and it just happens. And so I had to rebuild the whole aspect of what SEO really is and what you're doing and how you report and all those types of things. So for companies to do this, first off, they're going to always get a cease and desist letter. When I worked on court cases, that's what happens. They get a cease and desist letter. From there, then they go into the process of Google or the other company, the offending company or offended company, potential plaintiff, will monitor that company, and as they're monitoring them, if they see that doing it again, egregious behavior, then they'll file a lawsuit. Usually that's what happens. So this company's been doing it for a while. It's not just their first time. And most of these companies, it's never just their first time. So, yeah. Okay. So let's talk about something interesting. How to set up your WordPress site with basic with SEO in mind. Not even just basic SEO. So, love to talk about this. I had somebody ask me, and I said, hey, we'll address it in the Helpdesk Hangout, and they can watch it. So, I would like you guys to pick like 1 or 2 things that you guys like to do as your initial basic. Hey, I'm building out a WordPress website for myself or a client or whoever it be, maybe even your mom, and you're just going to say, hey, what's the basic stuff I need to do? Who wants to go first?
I would go grab WP Rocket. What's the other one? WP Cache or whatever. And I would follow WP Rocket. Seems to be a little bit easier, although it's a paid tool. And I would grab that. And I mean, that's a WP Cache requires a little bit more setup and can be goofed up a little bit easier. But either way, get your the caching under control.
All right, who's next?
Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear, my man.
Okay, great. Firefox. I don't know, it's a Chrome thing. Hi everyone, I'm Danny, just generally interested in SEO. I always thought Yoast is a good starting point for WordPress. Get a nice structure for beginners in, although some people have problems with Yoast, but I think it's made a lot of progress recently. Some of these plugins are so bloated, they'll make things work for you. But I think Yoast is a good start, in my opinion.
Awesome. Let's see, William.
Yeah, I think the starting point would be to look at your technical stuff on your website. Just basic audits. I mean, you can run a SEMrush audit, and you can actually see all the different things that you have. Maybe duplicate pages, low quality content, broken links. Fix all the things that basically will actually have an issue with the crawlers. And I think that's one step of the massive puzzle.
Cool. Wissam.
All right, I'm not gonna go to plugins, so I'm gonna go to themes. So if they actually, for a starter company, stay away from anything too fancy. Simplicité fait la beauté. Simplicity makes beauty. Pick something simple, and that'll make probably a good decision to do.
Okay. Barry, you got anything?
Yeah, the most basic stuff you have to do and figure out is what content could you produce on the blog that would be unique enough and at a high enough quality that Google will want to actually index it and rank it, because you have those panda bears out there that are cute. So, content.
So one of the first things I like to tweak when I'm dealing on a WordPress website, the very first thing I ever do is I go in and I change the URL structure. Because what WordPress gives us stock URL structure, I think, sucks. Yeah, well, go ahead and do that again there, Kevin. Go ahead and do that again. Give me that thumbs down, because it is just horrible. Just go ahead and edit that. A lot of people say, do name, date, post name, date, post name. I mean, there's different permutations that you can utilize, but whatever you do, leave the stock alone, or leave stock, go away from it. Choose something there that will actually help users and will actually make sense. Just having a post number really just doesn't work. It's not beneficial. It doesn't help you as a webmaster. It doesn't help you as a person who's just writing general content, even if you're writing about X, Y, and Z. So, all right, cool. Anybody else have anything else on that subject you want to talk about on there? The basic stuff?
Well, once it's going, you might want to then run it through some tools. Now, I say this with reservation because you have to understand how to interpret the tools. But, if you have Pingdom or GT Metrics or web page test, definitely go to Google Mobile Friendly Test. What's the other one? What is it? URI Valet. Those are just some tools that you can use to start to look at if there's performance issues that might be causing issues, or caching, or first byte load, or maybe you have bloated images and stuff. But again, I say that with some reservation because you do have to understand how to interpret that data. They try to make it easy, but make sure you're understanding what they're asking you to change.
Awesome. Molly, thank you for joining us today. We've never met in Hangout in real life. My name is Matt Storm, so thank you for joining us. Go ahead and introduce yourself for us, would you?
Yeah, hey Matt. Thanks for inviting me to the Hangout today. My name is Molly Himblick-Geiger. I am a webmaster. The name of my agency is Design Right For You out of Jacksonville, Florida. And I also participate on several platforms with Google. I'm a Google Rising Star. I'm a Google Partners Community Ambassador, and I'm also a Google Small Business Community Advisor.
Awesome. So what we're talking about, the question right now is if someone was to contact you today or come and see you today and they said, I'm starting a WordPress website, What's the first thing I should do? What would you recommend to them if you only had just a minute to tell them what you'd recommend?
Well, that's an interesting question. I have optimized WordPress websites before, but I find it extremely limited in optimizing for WordPress. There are several plugins that people can utilize, but in terms of actually optimizing it for search, I actually recommend that people get just a straight HTML website because there's so much more that you can do with HTML versus WordPress.
Awesome. Okay. I'm a WordPress lover. I love all things WordPress, so I am partial to it. So, but a straight HTML website, I'd love to see people who can actually code in just straight HTML. You don't see many people who can do that anymore.
I'd see that. I appreciate what WordPress is. I mean, it's a great platform for people who want to manage their own websites. But I do code by hand. I mean, I actually get into the back end and I really dive deep into the metadata. I get really into especially optimizing for local in terms of brick and mortar, geolocation, longitude, latitude. There's a lot of different metadata tags that can be used in terms of your social media tags, canonical links, all that stuff. And I've really kind of dived deep into that whenever I'm optimizing for a client.
Sweet. Sweet. Sounds good. All right. Next one we have here, I was going to let Barry talk about some news. Barry, give us a news article from this week, and then after that we're going to talk about conversion funnel.
Okay. I guess the biggest thing this week was that Google announced this morning that if you go ahead and repeatedly spam or violate Google's Webmaster guidelines, Google's going to take further action on your website.
Awesome.
And repeated violations will make it harder for your reconsideration request to be successful in reversing it. I actually emailed Google asking what does further action mean. I assume it means that it might mean that your penalty might last a longer period of time. Now, we're talking about only manual actions here. But yeah, your penalty might last longer, or that they might go ahead and de-index your website. But again, I'm waiting for official word from Google on this. But who knows if they'll even share anything. So that's the biggest thing. Honestly, I always thought that they did this anyway. It might be that they've done this in the past anyway, in terms of repeated violations. But it might be that they're actually going ahead and announcing it officially so people actually know on the record. But I always assumed if you had like 5 link penalties in a period of 2 years, they would go ahead and say, you know what, it's not worth it. So that was my opinion.
So personally, I thought that Google was already doing this as well. And the reason is because of all the stuff that I see in Google Webmaster Forum of companies that come in there and say, or webmasters, and I'm not going to say companies, I'm going to say webmasters, you come in there and say, and I was penalized. And then I lifted that penalty, and then I got penalized again. And then I got about removing that penalty, and then I got penalized again, but now I can't recover no matter what I do. I've gone through every process, and I'm like, wait a minute. You did it once? You did it twice? You got caught both times, and then you did it a third time, and now you can't get out of it? You're an idiot.
Do you guys feel like this is maybe kind of what John Mueller had been talking about when he said that some domains are just kind of unrecoverable? Maybe I just read into that, but that's kind of what my feeling was.
No.
You don't think so, Barry?
No, I think he was talking about algorithms.
Well, he told that one guy out of the UK in not so many words that he should start a new site.
Yeah, but I think...
You know what I'm talking about?
But I think it wasn't manual actions. I think he was talking specifically around like Panda, Penguin, algorithmic actions.
Well, but there was that one guy, the one guy I'm thinking of, he did have a manual penalty.
Are you thinking of the guy out of the UK that does the travel site?
No. I'm trying to remember what the guy even did, but I specifically remember him saying, "Look, we've cleaned up, blah blah blah. Yes, we were bad, and so forth." And John basically saying, "Well, there's some sites that just won't be recoverable," and I remember that there had been, like, John knew who this guy was, and I'm sorry, I'm very iffy on the details on this, but it just seemed like through that interaction that he was basically saying, "Yeah, dude, you fooled us too many times. Forget about it." But that's just me reading into it.
No, it could be.
So real quick, so let's diverge a little bit and keep on this topic. Dan deals in AdSense. He's an AdSense TC. He plays a lot in there. Dan, let's talk about what happens if you get banned in AdSense and then users try to come back in. How does Google, obviously Google's getting repeated violators in that. How does Google handle that aspect? Because I think that some of the same parallels will cross over, or some of the things will cross over into what Webmaster and stuff like that from AdSense.
Well, with AdSense, once you get disabled, there typically is no coming back. They do have the appeal process that they offer to people kind of in questionable status, maybe lesser violations of policy. But what we deal with a lot, and the chances of an appeal working are very slim. Typically, it's a lifetime ban and you're gone. But they repeatedly, if they're given an appeal process, we get people in all the time that are saying, "Geez, I've written 100 appeals and I don't know why they, aren't listening." When by policy they listen to one, and the rest kind of go to the trash can. But per my comment in the typing thread, we get a lot of people that come in and they have illegal downloads, they have pornography or some borderline adult content, per Google's very conservative view of what's adult content, and then they wonder why they can't come back. And it's like, fool me once, fool me twice kind of theory. And in such flagrant violations, we've literally seen people take weeks and weeks and weeks writing appeals that we're just like, it's not going to work, man. Yeah, go find another ad broker. And then they get really mad, and it's all Google's fault, of course.
Don't those guys typically just go out and start a new account? It's not that easy?
It's not that easy because they do monitor, like you can't use the same bank account for EFT. They're going really toward EFT almost all around the world. And if an account's banned, they know the name, the bank account it was assigned to, all this kind of stuff, and they catch duplicate accounts very, very easily in a lot of cases. It's surprising how far people go out of their way to try and get another account sometimes, though. Setting up new bank accounts and everything.
So I'll admit I've never used AdSense. I've used another network on a few of my sites. I just didn't think I was actually getting enough revenue, or reading from other people that they were getting enough revenue. But I mean that was like 5 years ago. But I'm still on the. 5 years ago,
I was making a lot more.
I'm still on that other ad network, and I don't see me leaving it anytime soon. For a couple of my test sites, and I make like a couple $100 a month, and it's enough basically to go buy some good food. That's about it.
Does anybody else find the absolute humor in the fact that so many of these people work so hard to try to avoid working hard to do the right things? That part just always cracks me up. They will spend hours and hours and weeks trying to beat Google when they could have actually done something that was productive and good for their clients and customers and visitors. That I don't know. That just always cracks me up.
Yeah, but Kevin, hindsight is 20/20. I mean, when you decide to take that shortcut, you're not thinking it's going to take that long.
Oh no. Like I've had so many
You think it's only going
conversations.
to take a few hours versus all the hours, but when it doesn't go right and it ends up for many, many hours, then you wish you could have gone back.
Well, I'm sure that happens some of the time, but we've had clients that we've fired before where basically they knew that this was going to take a ton of effort, but because competitors were doing it and winning, they wanted to take they wanted to do that as well. And we're like, you are going to spend so much time trying to set up this site ring and these multiple sites and backlink structure and everything. Just write some dadgum content that's quality and do some marketing to drive some people to it. Do some social, and they're just like, no, but we're getting beat because they're doing this backlinking, and so we want to do that. And we're like, well, okay, we're just not.
So
gonna
what
see
you're
eye to
telling
eye.
me is you have clients who are lazy and equivalent to people who are fat and really overweight and want to take a pill to lose the weight. It doesn't work.
Well, but I think it's worse than that, Matt, because the fact is they are doing the work. In some of the things that we know people have done over the past actually take quite a bit of money and quite a bit of time to set up. And so if they just would have taken that 5 hours that week and instead of doing something stupid, actually, done something that was qualitative or helpful or valuable, then it would have helped them too. But yes, it does take some time.
Yeah, I think there are platforms out there that are causing those issues, aka Alexa, things like that. These site traffic ranking whatevers that are out there that are just, they're fraudulent. I mean, you guys want to know how to game Alexa? There's a really easy way to do it. If you have a couple hundred people in your company, what you do is you get every single one of them on Chrome, get them all to install the Chrome Alexa widget thing that they have, and then an extension, and then you get all your people to go home and surf your company website. It actually drives your value up. I did a test a couple years ago, and they've probably changed it since then. I don't know, but I did it with a company a couple years ago, and needless to say, it did very well for that company. We increased our Alexa score magically went up like by a buttload, and our CEO, he loved it, and it was such a joke. It was such a fraud. It was a test that I ran just to see what would happen. So you have to think along those lines. Okay, next topic here. All right. And real fast, if any of you did not know or have heard the news about Dana Lookadoo, who had a bicycle accident just over a year ago, or a couple years ago now, had a bicycle accident. She actually passed away yesterday. So pretty sad. So if you did not know that, so condolences. Or was it Monday? Was it Monday, Barry?
It was Monday.
It was Monday. I just heard the news yesterday saying that she passed away yesterday. So
Well, it was late Monday. East Coast. Well, for your time, it would have been, 7 o'clock-ish or something. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, that's so sad. I mean, I've had the chance to talk with her a couple times, and at SMX different events. Real nice lady, super smart, super bright, and unfortunately, from what what she said in the accident, that she just basically fell over. She wasn't hit, which is always my main fear when I'm out riding my bicycle, is that I'm going to be hit by somebody. I have been hit, and she wasn't. And I actually talked with a guy the other day who said that he basically fell over and had a heart attack, and he's lucky he lived, but he was wearing a heart rate monitor, and they hooked it up to the computer at the hospital and realized that his heart had stopped beating for about 4 minutes. He's still alive. He's still riding his bicycle. I see him every morning when I'm riding. Really nice fellow. So life is precious, so think about that. All right. Next topic.
Sell your bike, Matt.
I ride a motorcycle and a bicycle. That's never going to happen. I got a couple bicycles, and I want another. The bicycle and motorcycle rate numbers is this: it's always n+1. You can never have enough. So yeah, no matter what, the risk is there. I'll still.
Have you had a close call before?
I've had many. I've gone down 3 times on my motorcycle, and I've gone down twice on my bicycle where somebody's hit me. I've gone down in numerous bicycle races where I've had another rider touch my wheels, and boom, I've gone down. The worst is when you have to ride another 70 miles to get to the finish line with a busted handlebar and a bent and an arm that's just in pain. Done that many times. Very, very painful. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about conversion funnel here. So we can talk about a conversion funnel or building a review structure for unique content. What do you guys want to talk about? Either one. You guys pick. Silence? Crickets? Okay, we're going to go with conversion funnel. So how many of you guys have been told by clients and things like that, I just want to get traffic to my site? We all have. And that's something that I've started to stress to clients that who cares about how much traffic you get? If you get 10 people who visit your site on a daily basis and all 10 people buy your product, then you're winning. If 1 million people come to your site and every single one of them leaves and doesn't buy anything, you failed not only yourself, but the person who came to your site. So I like to talk about conversion funnel in the aspect of you got the person to your site, now what? So what are some of the things that you guys like to do to drive that conversion funnel, to get the user to do what they need to do, which is to get you to the thank you page? And this can be like UI, UX. This could be like one site I helped. They had from the time you added the item to your cart to the time where you got your thank you page was 21 steps. I see I see Kevin laughing. So go ahead, Kevin, since you want to laugh. Let's go ahead and talk about this.
Well, so we had a client that I met at a at a trade show, and he's like, we've had 8 SEOs. They all sucked. None of them has been able to help us. Do you guys want to try and help us? And we're like, well, the first thing we always do is an audit. I'm not gonna tell you anything until I do an audit on the site. So we're gonna need some baseline information from you, some access to some of your logs and so forth. And we came back to him and we said, you don't have a traffic problem. You don't have a visibility problem. You have a conversion problem. You are hemorrhaging people that actually land on your site. And it was very much like you were just saying, Matt, is that what ended up happening, one of the things that we discovered is that the way that the UI was set up, when you landed there, you seen a product picture, and the way the bands worked, the price was actually up here, and then there was another price here, and then there was another picture here. And what was happening was people would say, oh my gosh, that's an awesome price for this. Click on it, get to the next page, see that the price had changed, and they'd immediately bounce. And it was so simple to discover that. And would you believe that these people still did not go with it because they were like, no, we still need more traffic. If we get more traffic, this will solve it. And like, well, you can't solve that way. And so, we basically didn't take the job. But yeah, that's why I laugh, is because some people, even in the face of clear evidence of what's going on, they choose not to take the right path.
Wissam, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
I mean, when you mention something like conversion funnel, I immediately think about because people comes with different intent, right? Or not different intent, but also in different. They have their own different buying cycle. So some people they don't know that you exist. And what you do is you build a certain conversion funnel where let's say where over here you basically need to build content that you can target people, let's say, with the how-to type of articles, information articles, so they come to your website, meet your brand, see how, what kind of information you provide, how you can help them, so they can move from the awareness stage to the consideration stage, and from consideration to actually to convert. So so this is how I think about it. It's about what conversion funnel, in my opinion, is providing a funnel based on what type, when the entry point comes, depends on the entry point. If the person is, they don't know your brand, so the conversion funnel for that person needs to be awareness, consideration, whatever it is. Or they know your brand, then probably you need to provide content that can basically compare them with your other company or other competitors. We're saying, okay, this is that person or this company is much better than the other company that I'm researching for. Hence, he will push me to the conversion stage to actually convert. Yeah.
Okay. No, and I agree. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I was this clothing company I talked to. I said, you guys don't have an SEO problem. You guys get tons of traffic. I was like, they average just over 1 million visitors a month.
Yeah. So that basically means, I mean, it follows probably more under conversion optimization of the funnel. So the people, whatever they come through, I mean, you have to collect data out of them. So either you have to unify one user, you have to unify that if they come from desktop, mobile app, you have to merge all that data into one and make it one user and collect information about them. Or you have to, heat maps, scroll maps, all these stuff, so you can collect as much information as you can from.
Yeah, one of the funny things I had to laugh about this client is that they, for some reason, I don't know why, I mean, their abandonment rate was 92%. Once they added the item to the shopping cart. I mean, but what the problem was is that when they added the item to the shopping cart, they took them to a new page where they had to either sign up as a client or enter in as, no, that's it. You had to sign up. They didn't give you an option to check out as a guest, which is what I always do. I kind of want to fill out the information because if I'm a guest, I have to fill out the information anyways.
Absolutely, you can interrupt their purchasing. While they purchase, let them sign up or do whatever you want after they check out. So yeah, I agree.
What do you guys think of what Instacart and Seamless do? They make you put in some information before you can start looking at stuff, right?
Huh?
Yeah, that immediately for me is you're not going to get my business. But I'm sure they're doing fine with people who are fine doing that. But I think to Wassam's point is the other part of it is and Matt is, maybe what's happening is, which we've seen in this other site is, you can't get any kind of an idea of what shipping is or what kind of time frame that it's going to be. And so if I have to put something in a cart to see the price, or put something in a cart and then go to another page before I'm going to begin to see any kind of shipping policies or anything like that, well, then that's just part of what they're going to be looking for. They just want that information, and then they're going to go to the next retailer and they're going to look and see if they can get a better deal.
So I will tell you guys this company, I will say, don't look it up on your regular computer. It's not a porn site or anything like that. But don't look it up on your regular browser using incognito, because otherwise they will retarget ads you like a mother. They will just hammer you forever. The site I think that does it really well, have a good one, Danny. Have a good time at dental. One that does it very well, I think, is Spanx. Because if you think about it, they're trying to get, they're selling to women. They do sell some men's products, but they're selling to women. And they want to get that conversion process through. And William Wright, oh boy, but dude, it's serious. If you look at some of the best conversion websites out there, they're women's clothing websites. And it's not just underwear, it's, shoes and all that type of stuff as well. And they do a very, very good job of driving the user to get that checkout as soon as possible. Barry, why don't you go ahead and tell us about your love for buying women's clothing?
I mean, those conversion buttons are just so attractive that you just got to click them. It's that simple. It's like basically edit the cart, check out, just screaming at you.
Yeah.
I think we all feel that way here, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And I do think that we all feel that way. And I think it is getting better with time for users being able to get what they need, and that what they need is they want to check out. They don't want to spend their time on the site. They don't want to be there with fluff. All right. Does anybody have any? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, so the other thing I think people really need to think about, because we're talking about, you know, that conversion funnel, and Wissam started to kind of go down that path, is really think about those that sales path from, you know, first contact through client acquisition, and make sure that you are feeding each one of those. And so, you know, one of the things that we talk to clients a lot about, especially when we're dealing with, you know, like local brick and mortar and so forth, is, you know, really thinking about, if you have different product lines, making sure that you have logical paths to each of those that will take them down that correct buying path. Now, they may, you know, it's not a book. They may jump to the middle of wherever via search or via direct link, or you know, coming off of a blog post, deep linking into something else. But make sure that you have those, you know, have those paths, so that if they land on trucks, they're not seeing, you know, hybrid cars, and make sure that the story is consistent and leads them to that next logical step, and allow them to self-serve themselves deeper and deeper in the content. So that's just one thing we stress a lot.
Makes sense. Wissam, did you want to follow that up at all? Okay, Molly, you want to add your 2 cents?
Yeah, I was just going to quickly add that I think it's about selling the customer before they even get to the website. I've seen several different brands. I've got a little girl. She's always watching, you know, Sprout, and there's a company called Wayfair, you know, and they they do a good job of selling the person before they even get on the website. I also quickly add video marketing. I think that's a new trend to pay attention to. Google Brand Labs has said that by 2017, they anticipate video marketing going up by 74%. I think that's in conjunction with mobile. So I think those are some trends to be watching to deliver people to websites.
Yeah, my daughter and my son both play on our tablets. We've got 2 tablets in our home, and when they wake up in the morning, the first thing they say is "milk and tablet, please." I think Wissam knows a little bit about that as well. And needless to say, my kids play on the kids' YouTube app, which thank goodness that came out, because now I don't have to sit next to my kid and make sure that they're not looking at stuff they shouldn't be looking at. And Wissam, go ahead and tell us the cool story.
Oh, well, the thing is, like, you know, it was like 2 a.m. and someone was playing on the iPad at 2 a.m. the game that, you know, my favorite kid game. I was like, 2 a.m., what the hell is he doing? So I went to the room, and it was the cat. I had a cat, opened the app, playing the same game that my kid plays, and you have to see it. I was like, oh my god, I wish I was like too sleepy to take a picture out of it. It was like, wow.
That's funny. So, well, my kids actually know how to hit the skip ad button very well. I've trained them. So they can skip those ads. But the thing is that my kids are constantly being bombarded with ads now. Some people will say that's a bad thing. Some people will say that's a good thing. I don't really care because I've taught my kids how to skip. And I think that's the biggest thing as a parent you can probably ever do these days is teach your but it does teach my kids that now they want to go and visit websites that talk about Play-Doh and Disney. Very, very painful for me. Okay, so we've got one subject here. Let me go look it up because I don't remember what it was again. So we had conversion, and we had, after that, it was building out a structure for review structure for unique content. Okay, so have any of you guys done that?
We've done a lot of testing with duplicate content, and we've had a lot of clients that we've had to help structure their content. So I'm not quite sure I fully know what you're asking for there.
So say you're selling headphones, okay? So actually I don't want to do headphones. We need to do something generic. Duct tape, very generic. Tons of companies sell it. Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, other distributors around the country also sell duct tape. Okay? So now, how do you differentiate your product from anybody else? The easiest way to do that, personally, I believe, is by user-generated reviews. You can write all the unique content you want about duct tape, but it's not really going to change. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, and then you're going to have 9 million SKUs and all this other stuff, and it's just going to be difficult. So building out a review structure, testimonials, all those types of things, and then offering a give back program. So, hey, you wrote a review. Here's a, I'm just going to use mine, XYZ company. We'll just say that, XYZ company. So congratulations, you wrote a review, and now we'll give you $1 or $2 off your next purchase. So we'll give you a review, company bucks. In fact, Wissam, why don't you talk about Dollar Shave Club, since it looks like you do use them a lot.
It seems you didn't. No, it's basically, I mean, your idea is valid, and also the idea of it's also marketing. How you market your product to make it as unique as possible and provide one marketing message, and they call it like whatever Dollar Shave Club did. What they did is that video that went viral, and people just wanted to buy it, and even though they had beard, just want to buy it because it's cool. The video just, I don't know what's the real word for it or how to explain it right.
So have any of you in here, besides I think Wissam and myself, need and go watch any of the Dollar Shave Club videos, the YouTube videos that he's made? I strongly suggest, if you have not done that, I'd go check that out. I think you'd be quite impressed by the level of what they're trying to do, and then because they made it so viral, people are sharing it. But then the thing is that yes, people are coming back in there, and they're leaving reviews for the products after they buy them. It might not be the best product, but the marketing goes along with the product.
So this is, I met the guys that did the Poo-Pourri commercial. They were at a conference that I was speaking at, which was social something in New York, and what people don't understand about that is that they created several commercials before they had one that took off, and so they and actually each one of them was quite good. It's just that you generally don't create a viral video. You create multiple really high quality videos, and then something takes off with one of them because it gets picked up by the right influencer, gets picked up by the right person or whatever. But Poo-Pourri was really good. The Dollar Shave Club, the Lego Movie was a 100-minute long content marketing piece TV commercial. They didn't have to do a lot of other type of stuff to sell their toys. And then there was another one that I was just thinking of, and now I can't think of it. Oh, Will It Blend. Absolutely brilliant. You have to go look at Will It Blend.
Utah guys right there. I've known a couple of their people on their team personally do some good stuff. So Molly asked, how are you advising your clients to get the reviews? So this is the way I did it. I said to client X, in fact, I'm going to advise a client here next week, this is what they're going to do. So I'm not going to mention who they are, but I'll tell you what product category they're in. They're in jewelry. They make those hand-stamped jewelry that for some reason ladies really, really love right now, like when you put your kids' names on there and all that kind of stuff. Back me up, Molly, if I'm wrong.
Yep. That's called henna. Henna, I think is what it's called, and it's actually in the paint that you paint on your hands, and it's a dye that actually will stay on you for I think a week or so.
Well,
but
no,
it
this
is really popular.
Yeah, no, this is jewelry. It's like hand stamped jewelry. So like bracelets, rings, things like that, necklaces.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, so it's kind of, you see that stuff on Etsy and things like that lately. So what I'm going to tell this company is, they said, well, how many people do you have in your database that have bought products from you over the last 5 years? And it's in the range of almost 500,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a targeted email campaign to all the people who bought products from them in the past, saying, hey, hopefully you love your product. Come back and leave a review for the product that you purchased. At the same time that you leave a review, here's a discount code to come and buy some products. And also, if you leave a review, here's another discount code that's greater than the current discount code. So we're going to give like 10% off. Basically, it's going into the holiday season. We're just going to slam these guys with so much business they're not going to know what to do with themselves. That's my plan. Then, on top of that, if the person comes and does leave the review, we're going to give them like 15 to 18%. Still, they're going to keep their margins. They're going to be smaller margins, but they're still going to have enough of a margin where they'll actually be able to make some money. So, in the overall scheme of things, they're still going to make a lot of money. The goal is to make more money overall, and that's what they're going to end up doing. We're going to build out the review structure platform, paginate the content. We're going to get testimonials. We're going to show like 3 lines of text, username, get a photo, get the person to upload a photo if possible of the item that they purchased. So we want to get those user photos in there because that's great to do. And you ask about video testimonials. The thing I worry about video testimonials is that you have to actually watch them. If they're words, you can run them through a process filter to make sure that there's no swear words or anything like that. But if you're going through another way, then if you're going through videos, you're going to have to watch them, and that can be quite tedious. Okay,
So,
Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, a couple warnings on this.
Oh, no. I know where you're going with this.
First of all, Yelp explicitly in their terms of service says you may not ask or incentivize for
We don't want Yelp
reviews.
reviews. We don't want Yelp reviews at all.
Just for the people who may not understand that Yelp very specifically says you may not ask for those. You can say, find us on Yelp, but you may not say, please go review us on Yelp. And they're quite good at tracking down the fact that all of a sudden there's this huge influx, as is Google, and also that, they all happen to be clicking on an email link and coming in. The second thing is you do want to be very careful, as I understand it, and I am not a lawyer, and I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, but you want to be very careful about FTC regulations about paid endorsements. And if you are incentivizing people to give a review, they should be disclosing that review had some benefit to that. So caveat that I'm giving is, again, I would check on that before taking that tact.
So let me be explicitly clear. These are going to be reviews on site only. In fact, I don't want a Yelp review because this company doesn't have a store, a physical location. They don't have one. So it doesn't make sense for users to come in there. They're actually a manufacturer. They sell to small boutiques. Those boutiques sell their wares. They also sell online. So we don't want those reviews to go on Yelp. We don't want them to be on any other Google. I don't want reviews there. I want a person, a human being, to land on their page, see a bracelet or a necklace or an earrings or a ring, and to click that item and to see the item and then to see 75 reviews about that item on that page. I don't want these reviews to go anywhere else, because if they did, it's actually a negative thing that I perceive for this site. I don't want reviews anywhere else. I only want them on the page for each individual specific product. I hope that was very explicit. I hope that helped everyone understand these reviews are not going anywhere else.
So would you be doing schema markup on the review?
Correct.
Okay. So if it's so you're actually trying to get the SEO benefit for that as well by having the review. So again, I guess I would just be very concerned about the FTC side of that, not so much the Google side of that. Although I agree with what Molly's saying is you know, one of the things is from a local standpoint, from a local pack. You know, you've got local, the local pack, and then you have pure organic. And from the local pack standpoint, reviews are gold. And so, you know, I think maybe not in your particular instance, but certainly for service area businesses and service companies, man, you really need to get those local reviews and encourage people to review you locally on Google, because that's especially in competitive markets.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, it comes down to understanding. Like the other day, I had to go get a hitch put on my car. Okay, and they told me that it would take a half hour. I was like, cool, not a problem. There was 2 guys working. There was nobody else there getting the hitch put on. It was the only guy. A half hour. I literally had sat down. I plugged in my phone. I got some headphones going. I'm going to listen to some music, and I'm just going to chill and relax and just think about like processing the week. That was my whole plan. 10 minutes later, he comes out and says, "We're done." I was like, "What?" I was just starting to calm down. I was just starting to relax. And so the thing is, I went and left him a review. It took me longer to write the review sitting in the car, burning gas and kicking off CO2 fumes, than it did for them to put on the hitch for me. So people need to leave reviews. For this company, I'm going with the plan of that there's other companies that offer like bucks. If you leave a review, we'll give you bucks. If you buy a product, we'll give you so many bucks towards your next product purchase. There's companies that do that. They do really, really well. I don't do the process of leave a review, get a link. I don't do that. I don't agree with it. I think it's wrong. I think it's immoral. You know, there's so many different ways that you can go about it. So I think that for this company, X, that I'm working with their jewelry, is that we're going to go the process of reaching out to all their past customers, almost 500,000, asking them to come back. Hey, here's a discount code for your next purchase. They haven't done any email marketing at all. Then we're going to say, here's a discount code if you want to buy something. Here's a discount code if you want to buy something, if you want to leave a review for the product you got, which is just a little bit bigger than just coming to the site. So we're just incentivizing them to leave a review for a product that they've already purchased. We're not incentivizing them to leave a review. So I don't think that, and I've read that FTC stuff, and I don't think it actually goes in that line with that. I think it's okay.
You know, another thing that people forget about a lot is trust signals. You know, really putting things very clearly on the page that help people to gain trust. And so that could be, you know, that could be certificates, that could be, you know, Better Business Bureau. If you actually qualify for that, they've got some very nuanced ways that they want you to use their logos, and you have to qualify it for it. It could be, you know, just there's a whole list of things that you usually go down through: associations, organizations that you're part of, etc. Any certifications, accreditations. Those are all trust signals that quite often you want to make sure are not only on landing pages, but are also as they get closer to the buying portion or buying part.
Agree. And Molly asks, like, what about other ways? Receipts, thank you pages, social media. There are a ton of ways to get reviews. Totally agree with Kevin. Trust and authority. It's true. But you know what? If you go to a company and you're going to buy a product, you want to see a review from someone else. Do you really trust it if you don't see a review? You might. You might not. So as a company, you should have reviews for the products that you're selling.
I agree with that, and it also depends on whether it came by way of a mention or a recommendation. So if I've already received a recommendation, to Molly's point, through social media or something like that, which is kind of a review, you know, I say, hey, I bought this and I liked it and you should too, a recommendation for that, then I don't need that on the site as much as I would if I'm not receiving it that way. Not to say that it wouldn't be helpful to also have it, because we talk about reviews all the time as well.
All right, folks. My Fitbit is beeping, saying that I need to go outside and walk. It's noon, and it's that time of the week. So we are done. We will see you guys back here next week, 11 a.m. Pacific. Thank you for joining us. A good conversation this week. I hope it was enjoyed by all. And for those of you who are watching, thank you for joining us as well. If you have any questions, please reach out to me or post a comment on Helpdesk Hangouts Google Plus page, and we'll get back in touch with you. Thank you for joining, everyone, and look forward to seeing you next week. I will be here, and then I will be taking a few weeks off, or a week off, and hopefully Barry or we can get someone else to moderate while I'm gone at SMX East, and then in Boston. So have a great one, and go outside and get away from your computers. See ya.